Welcome to your go-to podcast for the pool and spa industry. My name is Tyler Rasmussen.
And my name is Greg Villafania. And this is the Pool Chasers Podcast. So we had a really good time at the Zodiac Symposium and Business Expo in San Diego, California. Just wanted to talk to you guys about, what had happened on our trip out there and what we learned from it, because we thought it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of like a bonus episode, not a full episode. We just want to kind of go over what we learned there, things we saw, some of the relationships we made. It was pretty cool for us, and we just thought it'd be cool to kind of like let you guys get an update of that. I want to give a little bit shout out to Jobber, our sponsor on that.
Jobber!
You guys can get a 14-day free trial at getjobber.com/poolchasers. So yep, go check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, let's talk about the Zodiac Symposium a little bit. So it was in San Diego, which is definitely one of our favorite cities.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really nice to be able to get out of the desert for a little bit. Even though it's beautiful here right now, it's still just knowing that we can go see the ocean and just be surrounded with, nice weather. But it was freezing there.
Yeah, it was really cold compared to what
it was
normally
freezing, dude. I felt kind of like
rainy.
I felt like a sissy out there, I was like, dude, I am dying right now. It's so cold.
I know, we're from there too, not from San Diego, but from Cali, and it was definitely pretty cold compared to what it normally is.
I ain't felt that kind of cold in a while. But anyway, we had we always have such a fun time driving out anywhere, but especially to California. It brings back so many memories. So it was really cool to kind of just talk about, brothers, and talked about, kind of our relationship and, what we think we're going to get out of, whatever event we're going to. But another fun part is we actually get to bump loud music all the way there.
Yeah. Some of our old favorites for sure.
Yeah. Dude, we were kicking Under Oath heavy, man.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yep.
It felt good. I hadn't listened to Under Oath in so long. I thought I was out of that stage of my life, but oh no, it's back.
Yeah.
I'm going to bump it going to the gym today because it got me so pumped up. So pumped up.
Yeah.
And then we threw
They got
in
a new album coming out too.
Oh yeah, they do.
So.
Oh yeah, a little shout out to Under Oath.
Shout out to Under Oath.
Yeah, I'm sure they're listening. I bet Spencer's listening to this right now. It's my favorite podcast, Pool Chasers.
Pool Chasers.
But it was cool. We listened to Yellow Card.
Yeah.
And that is like, you going to California, you're going to be in California, or you're from California, you got to bump the Yellow Card.
Oceans Avenue.
Oceans Avenue. You have to. I don't care what anybody says. It's a must.
Yeah, it's always fun, man. It's like 5.5, 6 hours drive. Took us a little longer on the way there because we hit rush hour traffic, but
I think that's California traffic.
Yeah, probably true.
Mixed in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems traffic is always garbage when you go out there.
Of course, we had to stop at Baker's. We mentioned Baker's on the first episode, I believe, so it's a go-to stop for us.
Do you think it was that good, or we were just so pumped on it?
Oh, no, it's that good.
It was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I was really enjoying that. So, yeah, we got through all the traffic. It was a little bit later in the evening, maybe like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And we finally got into the Rancho Bernardo Inn. That's the hotel we stayed at. That's where the event was at. And, we dropped our bags off, and I was amazed. That is a beautiful hotel. I mean, even just being at night, you can't fully see everything, but the artwork that was put up everywhere, I mean, I'm not one to hop on Instagram stories right away, but like I couldn't even help myself. You were checking in the bags, and I was like back in the front lobby, like, videotaping everything.
Phone up, recording.
Did I just say videotape?
Yeah, you said videotape.
Old man. Videotape. I did not videotape anything. I video recorded on my iPhone, cell phone. That's funny. But we checked in, and it was awesome. So that was cool. We finally got into our room and, put our stuff down. And then I think everybody that was there already was meeting up for cocktails. So we went and joined the fun. I think we went to another spot first.
Yeah,
we weren't really sure.
Bar.
Yeah, I went to another spot first because we weren't sure where everybody was at. But then we heard a lot of loud voices.
Yeah.
We said, pool guys.
Pool guys.
Oh, but the funniest thing, oh my gosh, can't believe I forgot this. We were walking through with all our bags, and these three pool people, they're like, oh, these must be pool guys. Look at that one's got his
cooler.
He's got his cooler with him, his lunchbox. Dude, we are dying because they're like, yeah, we're pool guys. We're here for that. That must be a pool guy thing, bringing your cooler. But yeah, I had my little cooler with my snacks and all my little goodies with me. But
that was pretty funny
because our guys have coolers on them all the time, and us obviously. So finally make our way to where all the laughter and pool professionals, and we link up with our boy Nick from he's our rep in Jandy. Super amazing guy. If you're listening to this, Nick, dude, we got nothing but love for you, and we appreciate everything you do for us. You're a solid guy
for sure. Yeah, we had some cocktails, had fun, talked to some different pool guys, pool gals, had a little hangout there. A lot of people were already kind of tipsy at that point. We got there a little late, so
but we weren't really in a rush to get on their level. I mean, we've only been in business for 4 years, so I think they were able to, have fun all night long. But we had stuff that we had to still even do that night.
Yeah.
But it's still a good time talking with Mike and Nick, and meeting all the other people that were there. Because when you go to these events, I don't know if you really know what you're getting yourself into or the type of people you're going to meet.
Right.
But it was a really fun first night, getting to know some of these people and the types of businesses that they run and the way that they do it. It was really cool.
It was pretty cool. Like you said, we still had to do stuff for Brothers. We had to make sure the schedules were set for the next day. We actually had to go and work on releasing episode 2, so we still had the final touches on that, because we released that Monday morning while we were there. So that was a kind of a lot of work, but we got it all done like we always do. Just a little bit of a jack of all trades and working all hours, but that's how you got to do to squeeze in some fun and learning.
Oh yeah, and it was super fun. Just kind of waking up super early, and making sure that all the finalization on the podcast and everything was good to go.
Yep. Just
because everybody's expecting it, so we want to make sure it gets out. But on top of making sure that Brothers and the schedule is aligned for what our guys are going to see, we want to make sure that they're all taken care of to the fullest. So definitely a busy morning on day 2.
Yes, that was cool. And then we went to breakfast. They had breakfast each day laid out. It was a pretty sweet setup. And that was kind of when we first got a glimpse of what the podcast might bring us, which was pretty different for us. We weren't really expecting that, but it was super cool to meet a couple of the guys that, had heard us on the podcast. And that's kind of what we're doing it for, to get part of this community and build it up. And, it was different for us to get recognized right away, but it was kind of cool just to be able to, talk with them and see what they got going on and hear their side of things. And it was pretty cool. We met Wilson. I know Wilson's been on our Instagram for a while with Wilson's Pool Service. He was a cool dude. He had a lot of cool stuff to say, which is always fun to hear. We also ran into Hal from Patriot Pools in Austin. That guy's got a pretty sweet setup up there. He's killing it up there for sure. And he was really cool to talk with. And, we've got this community now on our cell phones too, which is pretty dope. We get to chat back and forth with some of our...
Yeah, you've been on that a lot lately.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool just going back and forth with all the guys that you met at the show. Is there different people on that little chat too?
Yeah, there's like 8 or 9.
That you didn't meet at the show?
I met most of them, but not didn't talk with them a whole lot.
They all own like bigger businesses, or they kind of like...
No, they're kind of
all
scattered.
Over? Yeah.
Some
cool.
A little smaller, some a little bigger. But they're all over. I mean, Texas, Florida, San Diego, Arizona. So...
That's pretty cool. You just throw questions in there, or just kind of...
Yeah, everybody's still been throwing questions in there, bouncing them back and forth, ideas, what we do, what they do, how we do certain things like filter cleans, how we do things like, vacuuming.
That's got to be super cool. I mean, just to put a question in the feed and maybe not think that you're going to get beat up over something. Because I know some of these like Facebook communities and things like that, like... I'd be kind of nervous throwing a question in there just because, man, some of those dudes, they get just beat down, from a, pool professional that's been doing this for, 30 plus years.
Right.
That's just crazy.
No, it's been pretty sweet, man. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that came out of this was just our relationships we've built with a lot of these companies now, and it's cool. I really respect a lot of what they're saying in there and what they're doing, as I hope they do us. And I think it's pretty awesome to be able to bounce ideas back and forth with people who are not going to judge you and just want to help you get better and help the industry get better. And that's the whole idea. Yeah,
I was really impressed. Seemed like all the people that were there were really wanting to elevate their business. Mm-hmm. Everybody there was wanting to learn new things and actually network. I had never felt that before at any event or anything we had been to. Everybody was really cool, and just everybody was comfortable enough to approach another company and just talk to them about their business. And I thought that was really different.
Yeah, because that's what we're trying to do with the podcast. That's what we've talked about in episode 1, and we're going to continue to talk about, is that we just really want this industry to be better, and we want to be able to help people and help others learn. And I think Zodiac figured something out with this kind of conference. You're bringing the best of the best, and you're bringing the ones that can actually change the industry. You're not bringing, the old dogs that don't want to change, or, like I said, we always respect them for building what they did, but, they're bringing in the people who want to make a difference. And that was pretty different, man. All the pool shows we've been to, nothing like this.
And they weren't pitching anything. There was no classes on actual products that they sell.
Right.
It was really just trying to help educate us on how to run our business better, and hear some stories from other people that, been doing good, over the course of 20, 30 years. So I think that was really cool that, there wasn't a bunch of salespeople just trying to get us on board to do stuff. It was a fun event where we actually got to learn some things about, how to make our business better. And I think it was really cool just hearing from a lot of the people that they had given feedback the year before, because this is the second one, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people had given feedback the year before, and they actually implemented, that feedback towards, the people that they had talking and the things that they were talking about. So it was really cool to kind of take that feedback and do something with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Isn't that the point of feedback? Everybody asks for it.
Yeah, I would think, you know what I mean, to keep people, keep their, focused, strong.
Everybody always asks for it when you go to these pool conventions and things like that. They always ask you for your feedback, but nothing really changes. So It's cool that they took the feedback and actually made a few changes.
I wonder if just the feedback sucked, or people just, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
We're not talking about that.
That's possible.
But it was super cool. So after we had breakfast, we went into the main ballroom, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And keynote speaker, that kind of opened things up was Scott McCain. And he focused a lot on, just taking care of your customers and kind of his experience with other pool guys. But, man, he was freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
And he had amazing hair.
He did have amazing hair.
I could not get I'm like, dude, is that real? But, it looks like he cares about his hair.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he talked a lot about, customer service and how important it is. And that's kind of what we do at Brothers. So kind of linked hand in hand with that a little bit for us. It was kind of a lot that we already do, but I think it was important for the industry to hear for sure. Same with some of the other classes throughout the program. I thought, they really tried to focus on keeping your current customers happy, which I think a lot of us lose focus on. We try to gain, try to build, try to get as many pools as possible. But, we try to slow build Brothers, and we try to get the right customers for us.
Yeah, and you can't forget about the customers that you already currently have, especially if you have ongoing weekly or monthly pool service. You don't want to forget about them and, take on all this new business, and you can't even keep up with, your current customer base.
Yeah. So that was a pretty cool, and it was a pretty big emphasis from the conference altogether, I think, which was important.
Yeah, definitely. He was a good speaker.
It was cool they actually had a keynote speaker, because nobody really does that either. I've never been to a pool event where there's an actual keynote speaker and somebody's actually trying to teach you something.
Yeah, I was totally caught off guard.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I thought we were going to be broken up into groups like we always are and pick classes like we always do, and it was totally different. That whole first day was kind of just set up for us, which I thought was kind of cool. We're all going to get the same education, the same class to hear. If we're trying to make one big happy community, then we should all be kind of on the same page. And I think that was a very good keynote speaker to have. And what he talked about was very important for everybody to hear, to make sure we focus on our current customers, make sure we keep them happy, and we, stay focused on them, and, we can continue to grow, but don't forget about those.
Definitely. I think it really felt like the show was put on for us.
Yeah.
The whole time I felt like, man, they were just catering to us, because a lot of that stuff wasn't cheap, but it was really cool for them to be creative and do things differently. You know what I mean? That was like, hey, we got to put on a really cool, symposium, business expo that's just for these guys. You know what I mean? So they actually have something to take away. Mm-hmm. So I think that was a really, cool approach, because just always felt that way throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was cool. We that evening was a lot of fun. There was a text thread going around saying if we were up to go to Stone Brewery in San Diego that evening, and we were like, yeah, sure. Like, what are the directions, whatever. And I remember Nick was just like, no, I'm renting a party bus.
Yep.
And we're just like, oh, what? A party bus?
Yeah.
So it just shows how cool
AZ
they are.
Crew.
Yeah, the whole AZ crew that was at the symposium from Arizona. We met, later that evening after everything was done. And we hopped on the bus and waited for an hour for the Zodiac team to join us on the bus. They got the bus for us, and then we had to wait for them for forever. Yeah.
Well, what was crazy was when we first got in the bus, there was like some electrical fire in there. And
oh my gosh, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
It was like, smelled like electrical burning. The dude threw like water on the electrical fire, which you should never do.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, we almost all died. Everybody from Arizona, inside this party bus with this weird stripper pole that just randomly is in the middle, and, a bunch of random pool guys on there.
So you can only imagine what conversations were going on, on this. It's probably like 20, 30 minute drive.
Yeah.
But it was a ton of fun. But yeah, we were parked on the side of the road, and the guy was trying to figure out this electrical issue.
Yeah.
I was like, you sure you didn't leave the parking brake on? Because it smelled like burnt rubber. We just driving down that hill with the parking brake on.
Yep.
But they got it figured out. I felt like we were in good hands. We had a bunch of experienced pool vets on that bus. So I think we would have been able to figure it out.
Yeah. So we got that. Finally got there. It was a pretty cool place. I know you've been there before, but it
changed quite a bit. But
giant brewery for sure.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the group that got there before us, they already started the tour, so we didn't really go on the tour of how the beer making process goes.
That would have been kind of cool to see, but
yeah, until I ran into somebody 20 minutes later, and they're like, "Yeah, I was on that tour for an hour." It's like, kind of glad I didn't do that.
Yeah,
because I was kind of excited to have a Stone beer.
Sure,
not walk around some more.
And look at the beer.
Yeah, I can get some samples. But that was a really good evening where we got to go up top there, and just it's kind of cool to have that view of the whole entire restaurant brewery. And we got to connect.
Booked for us up there.
Yeah, cool. We had that whole. Oh, we did have that whole entire area. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was a really good opportunity for us to kind of, I guess, let our hair down and network with some new people.
Yeah.
And had a lot of fun meeting some new people.
Yeah, it was cool. I met Matt from Clear Expectations, seen him on Instagram before too. We had a lot of cool conversations that night. It was pretty eye-opening, man, to see how things are done, even in just the state over. California's not that far away, but just the differences between what they do in Cali and what we do in Arizona, and from Texas and Florida and Las Vegas, like everything is different. Idaho, I think there were some people from, and there's it's just so much difference in the way we run things, the way our customers are, the customer base, the ages, the range, there's so much difference, and it was pretty crazy. And he was a cool dude. He shared a lot, and, I thought it was a good relationship to build. So he's in that text thread, and hopefully we'll keep that relationship going, but he was cool. I think you met Sean and from Aquashine.
Yeah, that was, man, I had a really good conversation with Sean, and they're here based out of Phoenix, I think, somewhere over here. Really awesome guy, and he's talking to me about their business and his business partner, I think the one that started it, and just all the things that they're doing right now and the things they're doing in the future. Thought it was so cool that pretty much everyone that works with them is people that they know, and they went to either church or school with, and I thought that was really cool to kind of have that real family feel in that community there. So, but we had some really good, talks about everything that night.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was definitely a unique situation with a bunch of different pool guys that you wouldn't normally get to talk to.
I think it's a lot of fun because it's really cool that you get to talk with people and they have some of the same, I don't want to say problems, but we just get each other. You know what I mean? Like we all understand each other because we're all kind of in the same industry and we're going through the same things, especially us doing service and repair. If another company is doing service and repair, like we totally understand certain things. And there's so many good takeaways. I mean, I love when you get excited about meeting new people because you learn something from them. And, if you ever think for a minute, you think you know everything, like it's really cool to go to an event like that. And you're like, man, but it's a good thing. I think sometimes you need to get put in your place and be like, wow, there's so many improvements our business could use. And I think there were so many good takeaways.
So many. And, it was cool to meet other companies from Arizona. We met quite a few, but we already know a lot as well. But, I mean, it's cool. We don't look at it as a competition, man. We just want all of us to be able to, grow our businesses, grow this industry, and, to see some younger guys like us trying to do things, and they're this cool crew that they, have known each other for a long time. I thought that was cool. We also met Daniel from Zodiac. He was really cool dude. He is younger and he was Matt's buddy and
a San Diego rep.
Yeah, and he's the new rep in San Diego. I heard more praise for that guy than anybody there, from different pool guys. Like, I guess whoever they had before him wasn't that great and a lot of the guys didn't like him, but then ever since Daniel's come in, they've really liked working with Zodiac, and I think that's cool. He was a cool guy.
And he was like a little bit more reserved, but man, you really got to talking with him, just really appreciated the kind of guy that he was. And I was like, man, you're a sales guy?
Right.
Like, how crazy is that? You're super cool. You know what I mean? And you're easy to talk to. And, he just wants to help, whatever. If he's your rep, he just wants to be able to take care of you any way that he can. And I thought, that was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's almost as cool as Nick.
Yeah. Almost there. But we just met him, so that's a good thing. But it was even, man, he was saying that him and, was it Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, they go on these crazy hikes every week, like 10 miles long up these hills. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yep, no thanks.
I think I said something on Instagram. I was like, yeah, maybe next time we'll join you. I'm pretty much training right now for that.
Maybe Greg will join you.
Just for that event. We'll get you a drone, Tyler. You can follow it.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
I'm winning.
Yeah, so they really love him out there, man. That's a great hire for Zodiac. He has a lot of experience, and he's really, from what we hear, changing that whole area. So it's good for them. Then we went back to the room. Like you said, there was so much that we learned from all these different companies and from this experience that we, kind of just reflected on brothers and what we learned from that day and what we learned from the conference so far. It's that first day brought a whole big light to us, I think, and there's, only so much you can implement and only so fast, but we're definitely going to implement quite a few things from this event. So, we reflected a lot, talked a lot about the business. Of course we had to do the next day for brothers and
get that ball rolling.
Yeah. So I don't know how many other people did that when they were there, but we definitely had to keep working while we were there, which was
had the laptop in every single ballroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charging it. Yeah. But we have to do what we have to do. We're still a younger company and things might not be that hectic in the future, but I think you always have to do whatever you have to do to make sure that your team's taken care of, your customers are taken care of, and, everything is good.
Yeah, just because we leave and we get to go to do training doesn't mean we want to leave our team in a bind, So
yeah, for sure.
We got to still handle our duties so that they're taken care of. And, shout out to Kyle, service manager, did a great job covering.
Oh, yeah, he held the fort down.
For sure.
Held it down. Love you, Kyle. Hope you're listening.
Yes, sir.
You're probably too busy working, but...
We had their karate coffee on Monday, and you didn't want that, so...
Nope.
We tried to go out Tuesday, go to Starbucks, and
I was so excited. So excited to finally get my cold brew, coconut milk, vanilla, no water, And guess
Ad
what?
shot.
Ad shot. Guess what? They got no cold brew. I can't even remember the last time I heard that.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I've never heard that.
I've been in coffee with you for a while. A lot of times.
Yeah, no. Always have cold brew. But maybe they always have it because they know I'm coming. They're like,
maybe.
dude, this guy's going to drop $5 on a drink. You better have that cold brew ready. Number one customer. So they didn't have that. So, let the adventure begin.
Yep, we left that one.
Because I'm getting some cold brew.
Yep, went and tried to find another Starbucks. He loves his Starbucks.
Yes, I do.
That day we had to kind of pick some classes, 4 out of 6 classes. We did a finance class, which was cool. Then there was a really cool class about HR, and handling your employees, taking care of your employees. It was taught by Golke Pools out of Denton, Texas, which is a smaller little community, but they definitely got it going on there, man. They got some crazy
cool they remodeled incentives. Their offices, warehouses, and, they did that for their team. I mean, they even had, this was like the craziest thing ever. They hired a mechanic in-house mechanic that worked on all the service vehicles. And if there was no work to be done on the service vehicles, they would have the team bring in their family's vehicles to have him work on it on a much, it wasn't free, but it was like a much more discounted rate. So I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. I mean, they're a part of like the community parades. They have they have barbecues once a month that are sponsored by
the reps.
Yeah, the reps. Mm-hmm. But it's just really cool to see, the owners and the team just be so aggressive with how to take better care of their team. And I thought that was just like the coolest thing, because he had this really cool slideshow with pictures of, the renovation. And now they got a couple, they got ping pong table, pool table, dart boards, but
basketball court.
Oh, basketball court in the warehouse. I mean, but it wasn't even like, it was legit.
Oh yeah,
it was super clean.
He said he was going to make a full court.
Oh yeah, full court. Yeah,
yeah.
I bet that dude could dunk. I was one of the
He's
tallest.
Pretty tall.
Yeah, I was one of the tallest guys I've seen at the event. He's a dunker for sure. But I thought that was, because we love our team so much that it's so cool seeing. Because they had done it a certain way for so long. And I loved his story where, he was raised in a time where it's just like, you just worked. Yep. You know what I mean? You stayed at a job, and if you were lucky to be there your whole career, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool that he, I don't want to say came into the times, but he realized that there's this new generation of people that are going to work for you that don't maybe have that same approach. So he just, changed his whole business model and made it, a really fun place where you could learn how to do pools. There's some colleges nearby, but you could learn how to do pools, make some money, and you're just in a really cool environment. Mm-hmm. I think very, very cool thing to do.
Yeah, very well done. Very well thought out. I mean, he's got schedules where one guy works Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the other guy works Tuesday, Thursdays. Like, they set it up for the college kids to be able to work and go to school, and it's pretty cool. They obviously know they're not going to stay there forever, but still, give them a chance to work and make some money while they're in school. And, at the same time, it helps them, service their pools and accounts and teaches them life lessons. And maybe they become, a lifetime employee, maybe not. But, if you treat people that way, they'll always either come back or they'll, be a wildfire for you, expressing how much they enjoy working for you. And, oh yeah, you should definitely go check them out, go work for them if you need a job, those type of things. Those go a long way, especially in a small town like they're in.
Yeah, and I think it was cool listening even to their office manager having, I think she was in the Air Force.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think that just makes a huge difference, getting things like really organized and having that good structure there. I know I wasn't in the military, but I worked at, different military bases and military logistics for 8 years. That stuff really comes in handy when you're dealing with a lot of chaos and craziness. Having that background is a good way to put good processes in place and really get organized. But I really, like the message she put out, because she, works, very hard to get things really organized over there.
They shared a lot of their hiring tactics, their checklist on what they do and how they hire. They also shared, like job descriptions with us, like laid out full detailed job descriptions on what they use and what they give to them to show them. They have handbooks that they hand out I mean, there was a lot. You could tell she was in the military for sure.
Oh yeah. And it was stuff that I don't think, you wouldn't think a company would hand out that kind of information because, you know, we all kind of feel like we're in competition, somewhat in competition. And it's like, oh, if I know something, I'm going to hold on to that tight. I don't want to share that.
Right.
But it was just so cool because what we took from that was, man, we want to make our business better. We already do a lot of things really good, but man, there's so many good takeaways. And if we could implement this, I thought the checklist was just, it was so basic. It was such a basic idea, but it was phenomenal. Yeah. It was just a checklist of all the things that when you have a new hire, everything that they need, everything that you're providing, everything down from the uniforms, their training with, you know, the lead pool tech, all that stuff. It was all there, and you just had to go in order and check that stuff off. Yep. I just thought that was a really good way to keep things organized.
Yeah, nothing gets missed for sure, and that's important. You know, when you hire somebody, that they understand what job they're taking, and you understand. You know, they understand your expectations of them, and vice versa. And it was pretty cool of them to share. I mean, that's what we talk about on the podcast. We just want people to be open and share and learn those things. If somebody would have shown us that in the beginning, it would have changed everything.
Oh man,
because
that'd have been sweet.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, that's cool if some of those companies that came to that were younger and heard that, and they can implement that more in the beginning years of their business. I mean, that's going to change everything. We're going to implement some of that right now, and we've already been doing it for 4 years. You know, we still learn stuff every day and learn how to do things differently, or, you know, we're always open to new ideas. So we're definitely going to take some of that, you know, ourselves. So
yeah,
if you are a new company, man, and you heard that, like, that's a big advantage.
I think it's crazy because I don't think you realize that attention to detail. You know what I mean? Because it's funny running a business full time and like, oh, is that really going to make a difference if, you know, I invest money in a big barbecue and I do stuff once a month, or I go and buy a ping pong table, or I do this or that. It's like, dude, that kind of stuff changes lives. You know what I mean? Having that relationship with your team and, you know, just all those little things, they make for much bigger things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, who wouldn't want to work for that? And I thought it was, you know, I want to go back on this because I actually thought this was really cool. That it was hard for them in the beginning, or it was hard for them to keep people on. So they were trying to figure out like why people, like they couldn't keep people, you know, working at the company. So they actually saw this moving company, and it was like a bunch of younger guys that owned it, but they had they were rolling like 50 deep, you know, with different moving trucks and things like that. And he was like, how do you get people to stay here? You guys move furniture for a living. That has got to be like one of the like worst jobs ever, moving furniture. And we know.
Totally.
Yeah, we did it. It wasn't that fun. You know what I mean? So it was really cool that it was all about the culture. You know what I mean? Like he looked at it and he said, dude, it's all about the culture. We have fun. You know, guys get back to the warehouse. We have these things set up. So it's just, you know, why wouldn't you want to work here? So he pretty much, you know, mirrored what that company was doing, because it made, I think if anybody hears that and sees it, it's like, makes perfectly good sense. But it was just so cool. Like I said before, it takes a really special person to adapt to new changes and know that, okay, you're dealing with millennials now, or they're a little bit younger. I think we have to kind of, you know, change a few things, because it's not like it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if some of these newer practices were done back in the day, it would make people more happier. You know, our fathers, our parents, you know, that generation, if they would have had some of this stuff implemented, I think they would have enjoyed working a little bit more, you know, wouldn't have been so tedious and hectic and crazy. But, you know, there's something that can learn from each generation, I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. So we get done with that, and what do? It's lunchtime again.
Lunchtime.
But this time we are looking for a bank to do some bank transactions.
Still working.
Yep, still working. But we had like an hour, 2 hour lunch.
It wasn't very long.
No?
It was like
we made it a 2 hour lunch.
It was like an hour and a half.
But obviously we didn't find a bank. We thought there was one nearby, but there wasn't. So we got food instead. So funny. So there's this like little taco shop. So we're like, oh, let's go check that out. But there was like a poke bar or poke bar or something like that on the side of it.
Poke bar.
Yeah. So this was kind of embarrassing. We're like, oh, let's check that out. Maybe they got teriyaki bowls or something. Walk in there, you know, we're greeted. They were super cool in there. just looking at the menu and pretty much we're like, no, this isn't going to work.
Like all sushi.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
So we walked
too picky for that.
Yeah. So we walked out one door and walked in another right next to it. The taco shop was right there. And that was more like it. Looking at that menu.
That was bomb.
Dude, you guys won't even.
Some man tacos.
Dude, when's the last time something has been so good? Like, I didn't even care about taking a picture of it. That's how good it was.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. You did.
Dude, I took one bite of that and I didn't care about nothing else except woofing down those tacos. And those were the biggest tacos I've ever had. Thank God I only got 2. Because I was like, I'm not like that hungry. I'll just get 2 chicken tacos or whatever. Dude, these were man tacos. Oh, so delicious. I can't even talk about this right now. I'm starving.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. So that was freaking amazing.
Yeah, too bad I don't remember the freaking name of it, but
I know, they totally deserve a good Yelp review.
They do, but we'll find it next year. But it was bomb, so it's right around the corner, right by the Starbucks.
Oh, yeah. Finally got to that. But so we finally got back from lunch, and we went into a marketing class. Super cool, put on by the marketing manager. He was there and just kind of talked to us about better marketing practices in 2018. And, obviously the reviews are such a big thing for what we do in the service-based industry. So we got to talking about that. And then he invited on, 3 or 4 panelists?
Yeah, it's like 3 younger guys and panelists. Some experience with Yelp, some with, marketing.
Google SEO.
Yeah, Google SEO, things like that. It was a interesting class, man. Anytime you get a bunch of different pool guys and gals from different age variations, I mean, you get so many mixed feelings on marketing. It's pretty crazy. You got the one guy in there, he gets 20% growth no matter what he does. He doesn't need Yelp. He doesn't need Google online. I'm not even sure why he was in the class if he doesn't need anything, but you got those guys and, much love to them if they have that, they build that way and they've built that word of mouth to where it's 20% growth every year. Like, kudos to them. I think the harder part about that is when they get closed off to newer things. And, we're not closed off to word of mouth. We're not closed off to old marketing tactics. We still use them. It's harder for them if they're newer and they're not used to it. They don't want to accept it. But, I mean, we've grown 90% of our business through online platforms. You know what I mean? So for us, that whole discussion is a pretty important one. And it was quite a few random weird conversations in that.
And there's nothing wrong with word of mouth. People have amazing businesses just solely on that. It's just, if we've only been around for 4 years, we have no choice. Yeah. We have no reputation. Word of mouth doesn't go anywhere with us. We just start a business just word of mouth. So we had to really, take advantage of making sure that our Yelp page was on point, our Google SEO, the website was good, all that different stuff. We had to make sure that all that stuff was in line. So, but it was really cool to be able to ask them some questions. I think maybe I might have thrown them off guard a little bit because not every pool company has, a marketing person, working at the place. So it was really cool to be able to ask some questions about blogging and different things like that. But, they all gave me some really good answers, got a lot of business cards, met some cool people. Some people in that class recognized us from Pool Chasers. So It was a lot of fun to talk about Pool Chasers and brothers and all that stuff. And, it was really cool for them to listen to what we were saying and kind of picking our brain after the class and just saying like, hey, I thought about doing that. Has that worked out pretty good for you? What's the ROI in that?
Yeah.
And it's really cool because we don't hold anything back. It's like, hey, I'll share with you whatever we have, but just know that everything is different, in different areas. What works for us might not work for you. It's all about the demographics. It's all about the team you have, the way you run your business, the transparency between everything. There's just so many variables, not everything is going to work for everybody.
Right. Yeah, and there was another guy in there. He was defending, Yelp building quite a bit. That was kind of cool to have somebody else that actually built his business that way. And, it was, Yelp lovers and Yelp haters in the same room.
You love them or hate them. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything in the middle.
Yeah. But it was cool because, it transitioned into some, we met Dustin from Precision Aquatics. We've seen him on Instagram too. And he knows us from Pool Chasers. And, I think his view on Yelp was, he was not liking it at all. And we kind of talked for a while. I don't know if we changed his perspective on that, but, we got to bounce ideas off of each other. And that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of the whole conference, and the whole point of those marketing classes is to learn things, get ideas. That's that relationship we built with him and others now that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed talking with Dustin because I guess I never really thought about what he was saying. He was saying that there's a lot of newer companies in his area. They were pushing him out, you know what I mean? Because there was a point in time, when Yelp, just started growing where he was getting a lot of business from it. But, slowly he was getting pushed out where he wasn't getting as many calls and messages and things like that because of, these companies that are just getting reviews were pushing him out. So it was really cool to hear, just his opinion on that. And, not going to lie, after we had talked, went on his Yelp page to see kind of how he was dealing with the customers and stuff. I just wanted to check out his photos and just kind of what he did. But man, if you're listening to this, Dustin, I was blown away at your responses to a lot of those reviews, good and bad. You really went above and beyond, and that's what everybody should do is, take a deep breath. We all have to do it because nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? And I think he handled himself like extremely well.
Oh yeah, for sure. After the conversations we had with him, it didn't sound like that, but once he went back there and read that, and he was, clearly knows what he's doing.
Man, a character for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So he was a cool dude. He did like 95% commercial properties. We do 0. So, it was kind of a whole different world to talk about, is these huge pump rooms, and, we've seen him on TV, we've seen him in person every once in a while, but like he deals with them every day, and we deal with residential every day. It's totally different game. And that was a really cool conversation. It's always different. It's always cool to have different conversations about stuff that we don't know or learn, we can learn from. And
he genuinely loves pools. Like, I think, when we talk to anybody, because we have such a deep passion for it, but someone's just like, I love being around pools, man. And I like the commercial accounts. I get to see pools that a lot of people, unless you're on vacation, would normally see.
Right.
But he's like, I became a pool guy. I started my own business, and I just fell in love with it, and I don't want to do anything else. And I think that's motivating, I think for us to hear that kind of stuff, because it's like, dude, this is such a cool industry, man. We get to deal with beautiful swimming pools, bodies of water. Like, it's just a cool thing, and it's, nice to see somebody else that feels the same way.
Yeah, for sure. I was wrapping up the second night, and, we went back to the room again, reflected, did we had to do for brothers. So it sounds like a broken record, but that's what we do on a daily basis, just like you guys do, I'm sure, is make sure everything is in line, so, we had time to spend hanging out, and then there was a cocktail event at night, and, it was like giving away a truck and some other cool prizes, and we actually won a JXI heater. So
whoop, whoop.
That was pretty sweet.
Time to get that bad boy installed somewhere.
You can see it on our Instagram. But yeah, it was cool. Definitely, pretty much paid for the trip, so that was awesome. Then they think one of the cool things they did was give the truck away, and the way they did it was kind of cool by states. He said everybody from California, you have no reason to stand up, or everybody from Texas, you have no reason to stand up, and he went through some states, and then he got to Arizona, which, was cool. So like, there's only probably 20 of us from Arizona.
Yeah.
So
our chances got better.
Yeah, got way better. So everybody from Arizona was standing up, and then he called the winner, which, I thought was cool. The guy that's been doing it for a long time in this industry won, probably definitely deserved it. He put that much years into the industry. It's cool that somebody with that much experience, wins that. And, I thought it was cool too. He talked about the last year's winner, and, he used the money to kind of buy 2 different trucks.
Yeah, he took the $30,000 and got 2 service trucks.
Yeah,
that was super cool.
Yeah, I think that was, I don't know if I would have thought of that. Maybe after discussion, about different things, we might have picked up.
Well, you weren't thinking about it because we're trying to get me a new truck. So
yeah, that's true.
I'll take that.
But that's pretty cool. If you don't need a new truck, like to just be able to buy 2 service trucks for your company.
No, that was really cool.
It's a pretty sweet idea for sure. We kind of, had a lot to drink. Everybody was drinking, having a good time, had a couple good heart to hearts at the end. with Michael from Expo, we have so much love for him. And, I think he's kind of starting to understand a little bit, that, and just we're building more of a relationship with him than just, protege relationship. Now I think, respect's about to kind of equaling out a little bit, although we'll always be so appreciative of him. But I think it's cool. He can learn some stuff from us too a little bit now here and there, and we can still learn from him. And, there's a lot of cool conversations and, a lot of discussion about how he started. And, we hadn't heard some of the stories he told us even, till that day. So it was a cool one. And, we also met Seth, who is from Arizona, from Swim Right Pools. He had some cool conversations as well with us, and it's crazy, man, when you get around them, little drinks inside you, but it's
liquid
cool.
courage.
Liquid courage.
But at least it was all positive though.
Yeah. Everybody was positive. It was all fun, and it's just, everybody just wants to be better and be in a cool industry, regardless of their age. Those two guys are a little older than we are, and they still just want to make the industry better and be a part of a cool, growing, thriving industry, not one that's dying.
But at all times, you got to show respect.
Yeah.
And I think we do a really good job at that because, I'd say a lot of those guys have been doing it longer than we have, and they probably have a lot more experience in, certain areas. But we love talking with those guys. I'm like, man, dude, like that's so cool that you're able to do that and that you've been doing this for so long. We have nothing but respect. And if they want questions on the way we do things, maybe some marketing tactics or some other things, dude, we love sharing that stuff. But I highly suggest to anybody listening to this, if you don't have a mentor, I would totally do your best to find one, because that is one of the coolest relationships that we have. And I think Mike is almost like a father figure within our little industry that we have, that we really look up to him. And when we get to tell him about some of the things that we've done and the advances we've made, he's always like just so jacked up for us. And he's so proud because he remembers being with us some years ago when we didn't have as many accounts, and we weren't really as known. But he's just, he's an amazing dude. If you're not as motivated to be in this industry and you're not really sure what to do, listen to the podcast. We're going to share our experiences and other people's experiences. But, this was a good time, and we learned a lot. And, don't be afraid to network with people. And, whether it be, physically networking where you run into somebody at the distribution center or, social media. It's crazy how helpful people can be, and people, I know if you hit us up and you with a question on something, if we can answer it, we definitely will do that, when we have time.
Yeah.
So definitely suggest everyone just communicate and make this industry better, the best that we can.
I really want to give a shout out to Zodiac for this conference just once again before we wrap it up. The way they did their Q&A classes there, the way they handled themselves professionally, the way that they were just there to help us and help us learn and help everybody there learn. And, they sat amongst us at breakfast and lunch and dinners and cocktails, and all their team was there, always eager to help. And it's something that we talked about and reflected on that night, and every night, but it's something when we got back, we really thought was so cool, because it's just something different, and there's never anything different in this industry. Everything's always the same. It's mundane, same classes, same things you've been doing every year, but this is different. And
they shook things up for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. And the way that they just focused on us and not them was already like
the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and they understand, and we get the game too. I mean, we know that they want our business, but it also helps them a lot if they have people in the industry that know what they're doing and can keep this industry around and growing and thriving.
But we all win. Yeah. We all win. Zodiac didn't pay us to do this episode. This was we just did this on the fly because we had such a good time there that we're like, dude, we need to talk about this, man, because we felt something, and we want to, anybody that's listening to this, we want them to understand that not everything is like flat and dull. You know what I mean? There's some good stuff, at all these shows, but man, the show that they put on, they really cared about us, and it really showed. And everybody said the same thing, and we will definitely be there again next year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So thanks so much, guys.
See you out there, pool chasers.